And now we need to find out which element that the background image is attaching itself to. So to do this, I'm going to use the inspect element here to look at the header element here, and this is where the background image is being attached. So what we're going to do is write some style here, and let's go into Visual Studio Code. Now in HTML, when you write style directly on an element, you do it like this with quotations. Then you can say width 200, whatever you want to. This is not valid in React. In React, we're going to open up curly braces because we're going to be, I guess, instantiating and using a variable in here, unnamed, since it's inline. And the variable is going to be a JSON object. So inside these curly braces, we're going to add more curly braces. And I think the same style of writing is in jQuery. So if you use CSS on an element in jQuery, you wouldn't write background dash image. And that's because dashes are not allowed in variable names or object properties in JavaScript. What you write is background and then capital I for image. And we're going to set this to this props image. So this dot props dot image, and then save. Now we need one more property in here to make this work. And we're going to create an if statement, an inline if statement within the HTML content. And if you guys remember from the videos before, to do this, we can just type our condition. We don't need to write if. We can wrap it in brackets if you'd like to. If you're using different and or comparisons, you will need to actually wrap them to kind of specify an order of operation. React likes that. So what we're going to say is if this props show button, and if it's equal to true, we can do two ways here. I think I showed you guys this way before. You can put a question mark and then the element you want to return, and then put a colon and else. This acts as an else statement. You can print out another element or null. Now if you're doing it this way, it doesn't make sense to do it this way because the question mark and then the else statement isn't returning anything. So we don't want an if-else statement, we just want an if statement. And we can't do that using a question mark. We need to use two and symbols. And then we're going to take our link element, I'm going to copy this and delete it. And inside here, I'm going to paste it. Alright, so we all know how this should work. We should be able to create the header component in our other views and pass it all these necessary properties. And so let's start with home. I'm going to delete this, and we're going to import header from in the current directory. We're going to actually know in the one directory up. So in the previous directory, so now we're in components, we're going to say common header. And if we were using a sidebar, we'd also store that sidebar in the common directory as well. And then let's go ahead and create header and save. Now it shows, but it's not showing any text, and that's because we need to add that back in. And the way we're going to do that, I'm going to copy what we have here. So this is going to be title. So in the header component, we now need to add properties. Why is that so oddly indented? I'm not sure. Anyway, title, I'm going to say is that. Let's go grab this subtitle. Here we're going to say subtitle is equal to this. The button text is going to say tell me more, and link is going to be services, let's say. And now we need to set show button to true. So I think it was show button. It was either show button or show link. Let me go check. It's show button. This props show button equals true. And then we just need image. So let's save this and see how this looks. Good stuff. If I inspect the element and go into the React source, we can see that the header is receiving all of these properties. And if we click that, it goes to services. So everything is working exactly as we need it to work right now, except for the image itself. Now there's two ways we can include the image. We would need it stored two different places. So as it's stored here under images, we see header image or header bg.jpg. We can refer to it as an absolute path. So we would be able to say this image equals I think image slash header-bg.jpg. And if I save this, it will refresh, and the same thing will be there. However, if I change this to map image.jpg, so let's go ahead and type map-image and save. And it still has that. Let me look at the header here. Style background image. Oh, we need to add URL. Okay. So we're going to be concatenating strings here. So open up single quotes and type URL, and then double quotes, and then a single quote and a plus. And then after the image, put a plus, open up single quotes again, put a double quote, and then a bracket. So make sure it looks just like this, and hit save. Now it's looking for map image. It found map image. Let's open this. Alright. So that didn't work actually through grabbing from the public directory. This there's no route for that, so it's not finding it. Which is good enough because that's not what we were going to do anyway. I wanted to show you guys that you can. And you can create a static resources route. We're not going to cover that right now. What we're going to do is, instead of this, we are going to, in home, we're going to import, and then in curly braces, type image from, and then we're going to say, in the previous directory, look in assets for images, just img, and then header dash, what was it? Header bg.jpg. And then we're going to use this property right here. Save, and it's not going to be able to find that because we need to create it. So in components, let's create a new folder called assets, and in assets let's create a new folder called image, and then in image we're going to copy that over, So what I'm going to do is in the File Explorer here, I'm going to copy it over. I've had trouble copying and pasting files and stuff within Visual Studio Code, so I'm just going to copy it like this. I'm going to copy. Let's go back to our top-level directory into Source, Components, Assets, Image, and paste it right here. And then we can refresh. And it can't resolve, oh, because we're still in the Pages directory? Home is in Pages, so we go up a level, we're at Components. Okay, yes. Just need to fix that path a little bit. And we're still not getting it. So it's image. Copy path. Let me just paste it here to see what we're doing wrong. Because we're still in Components directory. Under Pages. So we're in Pages. We go up a level. We're in Components. We look under Assets. /image/header-bg.jpg. See, that import looks right. Save this and okay, so we stopped getting an error, but the image is not showing, so image undefined. So let's go ahead and in the header, let's erase the URL and just have it embed the image, possibly. This will work if you're using an image tag, and it did seem to work here as well. Okay, so now if we go to About page, we don't see the image. So everything is just like it was before. But now we have the ability to include this header with any image on any page. I can copy this, and then on the About page, so I'm going to copy this and go into the About page. We are going to, inside a div wrapper, I'm going to include this. And then I'm going to copy the entire section because it can only return one top-level element. Paste it there. And then we need to import header. So import header from common header. And now we need an image here as well. So to do that, we're going to open up, let me see, downloads, and these two are the ones that I had downloaded. So I'm going to go into Documents, Project, Website, under Source, Components, Assets, Image, Paste. All right. So I'm going to rename this to About, and I'm going to rename this to Services, and then inside the code here we can see we've got about.jpg. So in About page we're going to import, in curly braces it's going to be image, from Assets, Image, about.jpg, and we're going to save. And then when we go to About, it shows the same image. Alright guys, I figured out why the image was not displaying, and it was a really stupid issue. It should have been displaying. I wrote this import statement incorrectly. So it's not curly braces that we need to import from or import with. It's just the variable name that you want to capture it as. So in both the home and about page, I'm going to modify this code so that we're importing a variable name from and then the image that we want to import it from. And then we're going to pass it in the same. So we're going to pass it in here, and then in the header component, what we need to do is when we set the background image, we do need to have the URL text in there as well. So we're going to open up these backticks around here, and then we're going to say URL and then a bracket. We're going to open up $sign and a curly brace because we're going to print a variable within a string. We're going to close that brace and then we're going to close the bracket, and then I'm going to save. And when this refreshes, we should see that now we're getting a different image. That's great. So we need to change this text and stuff on the About page. So to do this at this point, it's as simple as changing these properties. So I'm going to say About Us. And the subtitle is going to say, "It's really a great story." And show button is going to be false. Whoa, that got screwed up. Let's try that again. False. So now we can erase the link property and the button text. We don't need those, and save. And then once we go back here, we should see that now the text is different. And the same thing is going to be true for all these other pages like services, portfolio, team, and contact. We're probably going to remove the team page altogether. We'll just have the portfolio section as well. And actually we can create those as their own components where we want to use them as well on the home page. So we're going to have a few components that we're going to build out which are going to be each of these sections that we see here.